Are your daily stand-ups regular overrunning? Do they feel unstructured, chaotic? Do you often wish that you had better notes on what your colleagues shared after the meeting? My name is Björn. I'm the co-CEO at Resolution, and I'm very excited to announce that we have just released a new app for Agile teams using Jira. And that is going to help hundreds of teams give more efficient feedback. The app is called NASA, and it's definitely not another stand-up app. Stand-ups are a very important ritual for Agile teams and go by many different names, including daily, daily stand-up, daily scrum, Jurfix. According to the Scrum Guide, the purpose of the daily scrum is to inspect progress towards a sprint goal and adopt the sprint backlog as necessary. Many companies have adopted some type of version of their ceremony, but it doesn't always work that well. It's common for meetings to lack the right structure and to become redundant and too long. Daily stand-ups can become quite useless when the team doesn't follow some simple principles. First, focus on the sprint goals or the value you want to deliver. Make updates short and relevant. Report blockers to find who in the team can help. And address long blockers in separate meetings. Important, be inclusive and let everyone have their say. We have had our own history with dailies. For us, the most typical error is that people attend the meeting without any preparation and then just improvise their updates. They usually share some stuff that wasn't helpful for the rest of the team and sometimes forgot to mention where they needed help. At the same time, other team members would get impatient and start doing, let's say, something else to at least use the time for something what they think productive. It's a classic scenario. But then we started transitioning into a 4-day work week model. By the way, you can check out our journey in our blog. And then we realized we needed some type of app to support us and to help us be more efficient, more flexible, and more hybrid. We collected nearly every app but couldn't find anything that we really liked out. So we decided to create our own. We collected more than 20 pain points of stand-ups. We'll share those in a different video. And then we used those to build NASA, not another stand-up app. NASA supports Agile teams with a simple, flexible structure for providing updates based on the work what you have logged on your Atlassian tools. Right now, NASA integrates seamlessly with Jira, and we'll soon ship the integrations with Confluence and Bitbucket. It offers Scrum Master an effective way to facilitate meetings so they are shorter, more meaningful, and more memorable. Finally, team members who can't attend a meeting or stakeholders who are curious about how the team is making progress can find every piece of feedback documented. Just an example of today. Our cloud development stand-up with 9 people took 6 minutes and included everything what was valuable. When I go into NASA, I land on one of my meeting streams. But as you can see, I'm part of some other streams as well. These can be different feedback meetings from the same team, like retros, one-to-ones, or yearly reviews. Or in my case, they are meetings from different teams where I'm a participant. Yeah, life is busy. I can also create a new stream from this button, but we'll get into this setup later. I can prepare my update anytime. Most people write it right before the meeting, but I find it very practical to write it at the end of my day. Then I can easily recall what I want to discuss with the team and make my plan for the following day. At the end, it's your choice. The preparation mode is always open in between 2 meetings. Note that we have landed already on a specific question. In this case, what's your plan for today? If there are other questions, I can click on Next to check them and to come back to this one later. By the way, the questions can be defined and changed by the Scrum Master. We will give some examples in a bit. There are several ways to find the right answer to the stream questions. You can pick Jira issues recommended by your filter. You can search issues not shown by the app, or write a new item, and this can be a new Jira issue or a comment non-related to any issue. Let's look into each of them. On the right of the app shows issues from Jira. These issues are picked with a filter that is defined by the Scrum Master. So it should match quite accurately whatever you are working on. For example, it could be issues in the sprint assigned to the current user, or issues within a focus epic assigned to the current user. Just click on the plus sign to include any issue in the update, and it will show under the question. Soon we'll also add Confluence pages and Bitbucket branches on the right panel. When I can't find an issue I'm looking for, it's usually because the issue is not part of the sprint yet, or because it's assigned to a different person. In this case, I can just search for the issue and add it. Once you have the issue in your list, you can also add any relevant details in a comment. Today I want my teammates to know that I need Tian's help to review our latest data policy. If it's something worth storing in the issue, you can click on the checkbox and your comment will be posted there as well. And that is amazing for me, because I'm normally pretty bad when it comes to maintaining my progress and commenting in my Jira issues. This single feature has really changed my Jira habits, and it gives me an opportunity to document properly without making an extra effort. When I save a comment, I see it below the issue item in the update. And when I click on the issue key, I see the issue preview. And it shows the comment. This is also nice for making any changes. For example, you can transition the issue to a different status, or even hand over work during your preparation. If I want to add anything that's not in Jira yet, I just click on the orange plus sign to enter a separate item. In this case, a comment. For example, I need to read through some customer feedback to see if there is anything there about what else they like to be able to achieve with NASA. I can also convert this item into a Jira issue when I check this checkbox. And I'll be prompted to confirm the project and fill in every other detail. The issue is already assigned to me. Once I save that, I'm back in NASA. And I can also add a comment for each of the sources I check. Support tickets, chat questions, webinar questions, social media engagement, and so on. Anything that helps the team to understand whether there may be some sort of impact or dependency on their work, including URLs that they can check, for example, when a new internal resource has become available. That's the kind of info will make meeting more meaningful. Of course, during the preparation, I can always delete an item or a comment. In general, shorter is always better. Remember, before adding any item, you should always think, is it worth sharing? Does this help anybody in the team? For example, a comment that just says meetings is not very valuable. But if you add with whom you are discussing what, other team members can be aware of what's going on. And usually, Scrum Masters can get an idea of whether the team has a healthy interaction. Very often, a written update can be a bit dry. I'm excited, tired, concerned, focused. That's why I can also add emotions and make sure that I convey the right tone. Just by clicking one of the smiley icons, I can then pick a fitting emoji. It's not only about making the meeting colorful, it's also about communication and show more emotional well-being to the team. Later in the meeting, participants can also react to these emojis and add their own, just like in Slack. Once I've answered every question, I'll reach the summary. Here I can see every answer in a single screen and select my overall mood. If anything is missing, I can jump back into the questions section by clicking on the headline. Every change that you make will be immediately stored, but make sure that you only have the app running in one tab at any given time to avoid some issues with it saving. When the meeting time arrives, the Scrum Master can start it. First, the Scrum Master will reach this screen, a lobby, showing who's already online. At this point, the Scrum Master can wait for participants to show up or start already by clicking again on Start. Once a meeting starts, the app will show the roster of the participants, a timeline with the duration of the meeting and the time spent, and the update details of the active participants. The main idea of this screen is that the update is both visual on screen and audio from the participant's voice. This helps other team members to focus and drives a lot more interaction. Combining visual, audio and the interactions, you are far more likely to remember something. It's also important to remember that the Scrum Master controls what the app is displaying to every attendee, regardless of whether attendees are looking at the app through a screen share or in their own browser. They will always see the same screen as the Scrum Master. The time starts running immediately for the first participant, and the timer shows how long is left for his update. The Scrum Master can stop or resume the timer anytime. If you want to have some small talk at the start of the meeting, it's always better to do it in the lobby. Once the update is finished, the Scrum Master can go to the next participant, either clicking on the arrows or selecting the next person from the roster. The user will see whatever the Scrum Master has on its screen, but with fewer options. Participants can listen to their colleagues' updates and interact with them with reactions, but they can't control the meeting or flag any issue. Helping others is the number one reason for doing stand-ups. Sometimes help has a form of a quick answer or a helpful link that can be shared during the stand-up. But when it needs a longer answer, we have the rule of scheduling a separate follow-up for this. And in those cases, we flag the issue. With NASA, only the Scrum Master and the Scrum Master coverers can flag issues for follow-up. However, if you feel very democratic about this, you can set up your stream so that everyone is a Scrum Master coverer. We'll get to this in a sec. At some point, the stand-up will be over, and hopefully in time. Our meetings are definitely shorter with the app than without it. We have a stream with 14 participants that's never more than 15 minutes. When the stand-up is over, the Scrum Master can stop it and the app shows some highlights. At the top is an insight about the meeting, and below you can see the issues flagged for follow-up. Next, the Scrum Master can open the team journal. Team journals summarize the entire meeting on a single page. At the top, there are some stats. The participation indicates the overall attendance during the current sprint or cadence. We'll see what cadence means in the setup. Goals met. This means how many issues from the sprint or cadence have been completed. And the third metric says how many of the issues that the app shows on the right have been completed. Next, you can see the flagged issues. And this is a great reminder of what topics need discussions. Very helpful to make sure that all of them have a follow-up. Our tech lead often schedules quick one-to-ones at this point. And hey, let us know which kind of quick action you like to trigger from the flagged issues. A meeting scheduler, a Confluence page, a note taker. We are open to your suggestions. Write it in the comment. And at the bottom, the summary shows again each of the meeting updates or whether one of the members didn't attend. Back at the top, I have the option to review past meetings. I can click on the last meetings and keep going back. Or I just jump on a specific date from the calendar. The app stores up to 30 meetings, and that is per stream. And since NASA is built using Forge, no data is stored on our infrastructure. Everything stays in your Jira instance. The function is amazing for everybody. Assume you're coming back from vacation, or you want to get an idea what happened. Or you can't join because of a customer meeting. Or you're a VP of an engineering and you have 15 teams, reports, and you need a quick overview of what's going on in Team Cupra. And more expert information. To access a team journal, you need to be a team member in the stand-up stream. This makes sense, for example, in HR stand-up discussing the next round of pay raises. We are also working in a guest permission for accessing the team journal, so stay tuned for that. There's also a place for a personal statistic in my overview. This page stores all your recent activity in Jira and will soon include what you've worked on in Confluence and Bitbucket. It's a good place to start when I'm about to prepare my stand-up, so I can see, oh yes, I prepared this handover to our partners. Or I reviewed a template from Ira, our UI designer. This work output chart shows how many issues are in progress versus completed, and is already a good indicator of how productive your sprint is, and whether you've got simply too much work in progress. At the top, you also get some helpful statistics. Issues left is a number of tasks in this sprint that I haven't completed yet. Goals met is the other side of the coin, the percentage of the progress towards work I have committed to. And then stand-up participation simply means what percentage of meetings I have attended in this particular stream. Let's jump to configuring a meeting. In NASA, you can create as many meeting streams as you need. The streams overview will show you every meeting stream in the instance. How it's called, what board it's based on, who's in the team, including Scrum Master, and who are the Scrum Master coverers. And when it does happen. When I'm the coverer, I can change the settings of the stream anytime. I just have to make sure to be in the right stream, which I can do from the link on the overview, or from the top drop-down. And then I can go to settings. These are the same settings that I configure when I create a new stream. So let me show you. Here is the setup page. First, you must select a Jira board. Usually, you already have that board, but you can also set up this on purpose. Selecting this board is a possibility, most important part of the setup. The app will show issues from this board and will report completion statistics based on it. Then you should give it a name. Everyone should recognize the meeting by the name. So make sure you use something specific and recognizable. I go with Team Cupra. And of course, I want to have the Cupra logo in here. My team loves the reference from the 80s. Then I click Next. Now, the second most important decision. Which issues would you like the app to show during the preparation time? From the available choices, priority, issue type, status, or Jira issue filter. The last one is by far the most flexible. I'm going to use that one and pick issues from the sprint. Hence the name, issues from the sprint. Then I type the name of the filter for the current Cupra sprint. I have a look at our documentation for some examples, but there is one that we use. One important thing to remember is that the filter doesn't necessarily have to show issues from the same board. You can make it broader, like from another project or anything else that matches your use case. We are done. Let's click Next to start picking some users. In this screen, you are asked to choose a team. By default, I'm the Scrum Master, but I can remove myself and pick anybody else. We recommend appointing at least one coverer, so the meeting doesn't have to be cancelled when I'm late, sick, or on holidays. Then I can pick the participants. Let's click Next to start asking the right questions. By default, every NASA meeting comes with a classic 3 questions for daily stand-ups. What did you do yesterday? What will you work on today? Do you have any blockers? These questions are a good starting point, but it really depends on what your team needs. For us, I really like the bitwise operations suggestion. This Redditor says that they make 3 very practical questions. What code do you need to review? What needs manual testing? Do you have any blockers? So, I like just to set up it like that. You can also rearrange the order if you prefer to start with blocks, for example. Or you can make additional questions, like, does anybody feel they need training or more research and development time? Great, let's now decide how we schedule the sessions. Cupra meetings happen every day. So I check each day of the week from Monday to Friday. Next, I must select the time of the update. 10:30 is our time. But another good tip is to schedule the meeting around lunch break so you don't interrupt anybody's flow. Since we are doing sprints, we don't need to pick a cadence. But if you are doing Kanban, the cadence will define how the app measures progress towards your goals. Almost there. Let's click Next one last time. Let's now define the duration of the meeting. You can pick a total length or a maximum time per user. If you pick a total length, the app will calculate the maximum time per user anyways. The app won't cut anybody off, but it will show their timer in red to warn me that we are overrunning. All right, it's finished. Since this app is just new in the marketplace, there's a few things we are working on and that you see pretty soon. And if you're watching this video sometime after October 2023, then perhaps we already released them. The Slack notifications will be handled with an app for Slack real soon. But for now, you can create a bot reminder with a link to your stream in the channel of your choice. And you can also share a link to your Zoom or Teams meeting. In the data sources section of the settings, you'll soon be able to add your connections with Confluence, Bitbucket and GitHub. But if there's anything else you like to hook to, let us know. In conclusion, NASA, not another stand-up app, is going to redefine how Agile teams using Jira conduct their daily stand-up meetings. As we have explored in this tutorial, NASA brings a fresh approach to the classic failure points of daily stand-ups and making them more efficient, more structured and more meaningful. Thank you very much for checking this tutorial. Enjoy the evaluation of the app and feel free to contact us for feature requests or when you have questions. Thanks a lot. Bye.